Excuse me?
Huh? Who was that?
Oh, that was just me.
Pigs can speak?
Yeah, I was just wondering, you got any oats?
Any oats?
Yeah, oats or wheat or fruit or whatever. Me and a few of my hog mates, we just moved in behind the town hall and we have a few mouths to feed. I kind of underestimated and we ran out of food.
How much do you need?
Oh, I reckon a couple of dozen chests full ought to do it.
Couple of dozen chests? How many of you are there?
I told you, just me, my hogs mates, my hogs family, his cousins, their cousins.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft The Journey with me, bugmancx. We are currently in Minecraft Beta 1.8 pre-release, the leaked pre-release that was discovered by players of the game and then leaked to the public before Beta 1.8 was ready to be properly released. And this version is full of bugs and issues, and we've explored a few of those along the way in the last few episodes. And today I had some different plans, but sometimes this game throws you a curveball, and I've been experiencing some problems in this world that I need to get to the bottom of before we can progress to any of the stuff that I actually want to do. Recently, I've noticed that when you head off in this direction and get anywhere near the town hall, the game gets completely unplayable and then it freezes or crashes and dies, and this really isn't any good. So I've got to head over there and see if I can figure out exactly what's going on. And I'll give you just a little bit of an example. I'll put up F3 so you can see the graph that shows me the performance of my game. And as we head over here, the closer I get, the worse it'll get. And I'll suddenly reach a point. I think it's when the chunks beyond the town hall start to get loaded in. We'll suddenly reach a point. There we go. We get in a slideshow where the game just completely tanks. And it'll probably crash at this point. And I really can't move my player any further than this. Look at those lag spikes. So this is definitely a problem, and we need to get to the bottom of it. I've reloaded the game and I'm heading over as quickly as I can before the game starts to crash, and will you look at that? It's totally frozen already. Maybe if I decrease my render distance, it'll load in less of the chunks and allow me to move a little bit closer. Let's see how we go with a render distance of tiny. I hope this means there are less chunks to load in. I seem to be able to move across the map now a bit more freely, although I am starting to notice a little bit of a lag spike here and there. As you can see, yeah, it's getting worse, isn't it? I feel like there are a lot of entities in this area, which is probably causing the lag. I just have to figure out exactly where. So let's see how far we can get, and then I might try and reload the game once more and see what happens. There's a lot of pigs around here. How many more of you are there? Let's have a look around here. There are a lot of pigs. It's quite difficult to see exactly how many there are, but look at how badly it causes my game to lag. I'm going to have to periodically cull these things and see if I can get the game back to something playable. This is a little bit of a view from the camera account, and as you can see, just look how many pigs there are that are still remaining. I don't know how many I killed. Unfortunately, the game doesn't track that statistic yet, but there are still quite a few that I've got to get to. Even some strange dead ones down here that never quite got updated on my client. Oh yeah, that's freaky looking, isn't it? I better get away from there. But I've still got quite a few to get rid of, so I'll carry on and get rid of them all. I have no idea where they came from. There were probably 2,000, it felt like, if not more, and I've never heard so many pig squeals in my life. Actually doing this on the multiplayer server really worked to my advantage because by running the server, it splits a lot of the processing of the entities off and offloads it onto the server, which means that my client has to do less work. That was really advantageous because obviously I wasn't able to move when I was doing this in single player, but here in multiplayer, I'm able to just run around and get rid of every single little piggy. There are so many of them, it is unbelievable. And the game wasn't always perfect. It would lag every now and then and I'd have to disconnect and reconnect. That was another advantage of running on the server because I didn't have to restart my entire game client after it froze. In the meantime, I've got to harvest all of this bacon. Well, unfortunately, despite my piggy purging project, I did not prevail. I couldn't prevent that patch from pullulating a procession of piggies in perpetuity, and we still have a predicament. Minecraft is now failing to load. And so I've loaded up this ye olde version of MCEdit so that we can take a look at this problem. The Journey pig region, I've created a copy of my world, but I've added only the region file, which seems to be affected by this issue. So if we load this up, I'm hoping that we can get inside and take a look at what's going on. Wow, okay, let's see. This is very slow because every single one of those red blotches that you see in front of us is an entity. And in this case, they're probably all pigs, right? Up in this aerial view, I think you can now get a sense of the scale of this problem. We've got pigs everywhere. Over here in this section of the forest, you can see there are just thousands upon thousands of these pigs. And if I go down and get a little bit closer, hoping that MCEdit won't hang, as it tends to do, it's doing it right now, but you can see just how many there are. I think it's hanging because, as you can see, it's updating the map to give us more detail. But I want to get a little bit closer and I want to have a look at this from underground as well, because I don't think it's just the surface we need to worry about. Here we go. Underground. Let's have a look around. Oh, and I was right. I caught a glimpse of this as I was trying to move around the world before, but this seems to be the inside of a cave. Let's see if we can get over this way without MCEdit crashing or hanging too much. Oh, it struggles a lot, doesn't it? There's so much data for it to process. But look at this. We're inside of a cave and it just seems to be absolutely full of entities. Now, what on earth could these be? Let's see if we can just highlight a little section like this. So this is about a 15 cubic meters or 12 cubic meters. Let's analyze the structure here. 164 pigs underground in just this little section here. What? Where have they come from? And if that is just that little size there, imagine how many more there are, and imagine how many more are above us on the surface. What's curious to me is that while we're seeing this like this in MCEdit, why weren't we seeing this many on the surface when I was running around trying to kill them? Is it perhaps because Minecraft was just struggling to load them in and wasn't able to render them, and so therefore it looked like there were less? I really don't know, but this is more pigs than I've ever seen in my entire life. I should set up a bacon shop. And then it happened. After loading this game up so many times, I finally got a stable world full of pigs. And, well, let's just enjoy it. I think it's time to put everybody out of their misery. We are going to figure out exactly how many pigs we have in this area of the world. So I'm going to try and select this section if I can. This is going to cover most of the pigs. Granted, it's not everything. There are some entity pockets here and there, but really there aren't that many. What I can also do is click Select Chunks, and that should select the entire section from sky to bedrock. And now I can do an analyze. But before I do, I want you to guess how many pigs you think there are in this selection. Go on, I'll give you a moment to go down to the comments and write what you think. Are you done? Okay, let's see what MCEdit has to say. It's done. Are you ready? I don't know if I'm ready. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Why doesn't it have a faster scroll? 46,750 pigs. 46,750 pigs. How do I get rid of 46,750 pigs? I'm wondering now if we can purge all of the pigs from this world using MCEdit. It doesn't look like any of these other entities we're really too worried about. XP orbs and spiders and creepers, you know, who cares about them? One wolf and a few paintings, easily replaceable. So if I just close that out and go over here to delete entities, remove all entities within the selection. I have my fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Oh, that was extremely fast. I was kind of counting on it being a little bit slower than that. All right, let's save this region file and go back into Minecraft and see what a difference it's made. Back in, and this version is a special copy of the world I made where I deleted all of the other region files except for the one which contains all of those pigs because I wanted to limit the damage basically in order to fix the problem. So if I load up this world, hopefully it's going to work and not hang, and it has. We seem to be back in. I'm going to change my view distance because it looks like, where is that? Under here somewhere. Because everything seems to be okay again. Everything seems rather smooth. I don't see any pigs, but I think if I head off in this direction, if I go outside of the selection range, oh, there's an XP orb. That means I must be outside of the selection range. There should be pigs out here. I remember seeing some over this way in the water. Yes, there are quite a few of them out there, as you can see, although not thousands upon thousands, so that's good news. I'm just going to scout the area and see what the damage looks like. Just wandering around this area a bit, and I am seeing some pigs out here on the surface, although this was outside of the range of the selection area, so these should just be a matter of culling them and bringing our numbers back down to next to 0. But things do seem to be remarkably more smooth, even though things do seem to still feel a little bit jittery. I'm not sure whether that's just me or something else, but I think if I do concentrate on getting rid of these last few remaining swine, like that one, then that should help matters a little bit more. One of the changes introduced with Minecraft Beta 1.8 was that passive mobs are now persistent. That means that when they spawn in, they won't despawn, but the game should have certain controls over how many it spawns in the first place to prevent situations like we had over there where you have thousands upon thousands upon thousands. And I imagine that that code is just a little bit buggy, and we've encountered some kind of bug to do with the spawning algorithm there, which has resulted in all of those pigs spawning. I don't know if it'll happen again. It's quite possible that it could, and at least we know what to do about it if it does. We just need to load the world up in MCEdit and clear out all of the entities we don't want. A couple of days have passed now since my last recording session where I got rid of all of those pigs, but as I started to work in this world today, I started to notice more lag. If I head over here, it should kick in any moment now because I had to reload the game a couple of times, and there you go. It's totally frozen again. It feels like deja vu. I think what's happened here is exactly the same thing as happened as before, even though I got rid of all of those entities. Oh, the game is back. No, it's not. Oh, this is unplayable. I'm going to switch to multiplayer again and see if I can get to the bottom of this. Well, I'm over in multiplayer now, and as you can see, the chunks aren't even loading incorrectly, and I think that's just because the server is under a lot of strain right now. So I'm going to head over this way, and hopefully the chunks will load in. Hopefully we get an indication of what's going on. I get the sense that it's exactly this same region over here, or the same set of chunks as last time. Oh wow, did you feel that? Just as these chunks loaded in, the game turned into a slideshow. It's okay though, it's navigable. I don't see anything yet. What's that? Oh my goodness. It's like an episode of Star Trek where I've been frozen in time. This is not good. This is not good at all. I'm noticing how they're all in this specific chunk, so what I imagine has happened is the game's tried to spawn in a chicken. For some reason it spawned in thousands of them, and they've probably all spread out from this particular spot, which is why there's such a huge concentration of them right now. No doubt that's exactly what happened with the pigs as well. Oh, but this isn't good. And once again, I'm back here in MCEdit trying to get to the bottom of this entity problem. And as we've seen before, these little red markers here indicate wherever there's an entity in the world. And so that could be a chicken or a pig or a painting or any other kind of entity. But what I have noticed over here, where we had the chicken problem, have a look at this. I've loaded up this world from before I loaded in any of these chunks in single player. So there was no opportunity for the chickens to spread out yet. And I think what we have here is a block, or in fact 2 blocks, which contains potentially thousands of chickens. But this is where it gets fascinating. What I can do with MCEdit is I can highlight this little section here, and if I use my controls correctly, I should be able to just highlight this section and make sure that we encompass that red block right there, just like that. So as you can see now, if I head back up here, that red entity cube is inside of the selection area, and if we do our analyze, it tells us that we have 1 chicken. So MCEdit believes that there's only 1 chicken right here inside of the selection area. Now that doesn't seem to make sense to me, because why would it be so bright when all of the others, like these over here, are so opaque, right? Doesn't seem logical to me. So let's try and do the delete entities function. It's deleted the entities, but according to the console, it's only deleted 1 entity. Why is there still a lot of them here? Let's try it again. Deleted 0 entities. I don't understand. So even MCEdit seems to be struggling with this issue, and I'm really not sure how to fix it. Well, I feel like I'm really getting down into the weeds now, because I've had to load up this problematic region file into NBT Explorer here, and look what I've found. I've just been digging around here, and I found at this chunk 2422 that it has 2,313 entities, and if you expand a couple of them, it turns out that they're chickens. Here's 1 chicken, and here's another chicken. But here's what's fascinating, and here's what I think was confusing MCEdit. If you have a look at the position of that entity, it says it's at 870 by 274. This one's also 870 by 274. And if you have a look at the very precise decimal places here, it ends in 602 and 417, 602 and 417. So 2,313 chickens are all occupying exactly the same space in the world, and so MCEdit couldn't differentiate between them and just thought it was 1 chicken, I guess. So what am I going to have to do about this? Well, I don't care about any of the entities inside of this chunk here, so I'm going to just delete all of them like that, and I'll just have a bit of a dig around here and make sure there are no other problematic chunks like that, and then head back in and see if it's made a difference. So far so good. I'm just heading over to the exact location now to make sure that I haven't overlooked anything, but everything seems smooth and nice, so I'm pretty confident that we've got rid of the problem. At least we have an even easier fix now if it does happen again, but I tell you what, I'm very keen to get off of this version and upgrade to the next one, because I don't like issues like that. They can be really game-breaking if you don't know how to deal with them properly. Well, that episode was a bit of a hog's breakfast, wasn't it? Not everything goes to plan, especially when you're playing these early versions like this. I had completely different plans for this episode, but as you can see, the game just kind of went off in its own direction and took me somewhere I didn't expect. In the next episode, I hope to be able to upgrade off of this totally buggy, unreliable version and get onto something a little bit more stable. So I hope you'll join me there. For now, I want to say thank you for watching, and a special thank you to my amazing patrons for supporting me. You're all so incredible. Thank you, Game Bear, for re-pledging at the Scarab Beetle level. That's why he has that amazing yellow name that comes up at the end of the episode. But until then, this has been bugmancx. You've been watching Minecraft: The Journey. Bye-bye.